If you've been scrolling through endless lists of signature guitars, watching YouTubers compare tone-shaping knobs and tremolo systems, and still feel stuck on whether a Steve Vai model is worth the price tag, this review is going to clear that up for you. I've spent a few weeks playing the Ibanez Steve Vai Signature Premium JEM7VP in my own garage, talking to a few local gig musicians, and digging through the Amazon rating data. 196 reviewers gave it an average of 4.6 stars, which tells me most owners are pretty happy, but the devil's always in the details. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the JEM line isn't just another pretty-looking axe, it's a design that Steve Vai helped shape for decades, and the 7VP version is the premium incarnation of that heritage. The thing that makes a difference in everyday playing is how the guitar feels when you're actually using the edge tremolo on a riff, and how the pickup layout behaves when you jump from clean chords to screaming solos. That's the sweet spot most buyers are hunting for, an instrument that can sit comfortably in a bedroom practice routine, hold its own on a small club stage, and still deliver that high-octane vibe when you crank the amp. Who should consider this guitar? If you're a player who already knows you want a versatile, high-gain instrument that can also serve clean, articulate jazzish tones, the JEM7VP hits a lot of marks. The combination of a single coil in the bridge and two humbuckers in the middle and neck positions gives you a palette that ranges from glassy chime to thick, creamy sustain. That means a gigging guitarist who needs to cover both clean rhythm patches and soaring leads can dial in the right voice without swapping guitars mid-set. It's also a solid pick for serious hobbyists who have outgrown entry-level starter models and are looking for a step-up that still feels approachable. The maple/walnut neck is thin enough for fast-hand shredding but sturdy enough to stay in tune when you hammer on a dive bomb with the edge tremolo. On the flip side, if you're a beginner who's still learning basic chord shapes and hasn't yet tackled the nuances of a floating tremolo, the JEM7VP might feel a bit too much. The edge tremolo is a fantastic tool for expressive vibrato and pitch dives, but it also adds a layer of setup complexity. You'll need to spend a few hours adjusting spring tension and making sure the bridge sits level, otherwise you'll end up with tuning wobble after a few minutes of aggressive playing. For someone still learning to keep a guitar in tune with a standard non-floating bridge, that could become a source of frustration rather than inspiration. Now let's talk about the practical strengths that become evident after a few days of real-world use. First, the Alder body. It's a wood that many classic rock guitars are built from, and it gives a balanced resonance that doesn't overly accentuate the highs or muffle the lows. In my experience, when I jammed a blues shuffle in the pocket of a small venue, the mids cut through the mix just enough to be heard over a modest PA system without sounding harsh. The same body, paired with the single-coil bridge pickup, let me nail a clean, bell-like tone for clean-tone funk riffs that didn't bleed into the surrounding instruments. The second practical win is the pickup layout. Having a humbucker at the neck and middle, plus a single coil at the bridge, lets you quickly dial in classic JEM tones. I found the humbucker neck position perfect for warm, sustained leads. Think of those soaring bass-style arpeggios that sit on top of a clean rhythm. Flip to the middle humbucker, and you get a thicker, more aggressive crunch that works well for rhythm rock. When I switched to the bridge single coil, the guitar turned into a bright, articulate voice that handled clean chord melodies and chimey arpeggios without the usual single coil hiss that can be a problem in high gain settings. That flexibility is a real time saver for giggers who need to cover different styles in one set. A hidden trade-off shows up when you start using the edge tremolo heavily. The tremolo system is smooth and responsive. You can pull the bar back a half step and get a clean pitch shift that feels immediate. However, because the bridge is a floating design, you have to be mindful of string gauge. The stock set of light strings that came with the guitar made the tremolo feel a bit loose, which is great for subtle vibrato but can cause the strings to go flat if you dive too low. Upgrading to a medium gauge set tightened the feel, giving you a more stable platform for aggressive dive bombs, but that also meant a slightly higher action at the lower frets. So the practical decision is, if you love big, wild tremolo tricks, be prepared to spend a modest amount on a new string set and maybe a quick setup at a local tech. Another point that often gets overlooked is the aesthetic and ergonomic footprint. The white finish on the JEM7VP is